Matt, to the point you just made in the comparison between Utah and USC, there's quite a yin and yang there when it comes to persona, when it comes to perception, when it comes to brand name, and the perception that is basically rooted in fact concerning, in truth, concerning these two programs. Utah brings the lunch pail. They're going to be strong in the trenches. Kyle Whittingham has been around forever. He has done an amazing job there, but the consistency is hardly matched across college football, and just that their floor is going to be extremely high. They may have some limitations, and certainly do, in acquiring the top talent in the country, but Utah is going to bring it. They're going to punch you in the mouth. They're not going to back down from anyone, but there are limitations there as opposed to USC. Under the wrong coaching, of course, they've been led astray over the past decade, but this is a giant that's ready to go off with the proper direction.
No question. I think you framed that discussion properly, that Utah really is the high floor program. You know what you're going to get from the Utes each year under Kyle Whittingham. And with USC, the floor has been extremely low under Clay Helton, under seven-loss Sark. And so Lincoln Riley, what he brings and what Caleb Williams also brings is the ability to reach a very high ceiling. But we don't know where USC's floor is. And that really in many ways is the ultimate question surrounding the battle between the Trojans and the Utes in 2022. Utah has the higher floor, but in USC probably has the higher ceiling. But where is USC's floor? Where is going to be that regular baseline standard that USC meets every week? And I remember last week on our first live show, one of the questions was, how much is USC going to score? How much is USC going to give up? I actually wrote a recent column at Trojans Wire picking on one particular nuance of that whole debate, and that is that, let's say USC, hypothetically, let's say USC averages 40 points a game. Now, obviously, on the surface, that would probably be very good. But if USC averages 40 points per game by scoring 63 times and 23 times, that's not good. It's about establishing a floor, 35 every week. That would be better than, being way up one week and way down the next. So it's all about being able to establish a floor. And that is really a big part of the USC-Utah discussion. The flip side, if we're going to talk about where's USC's floor, the other part of the discussion is where's Utah's ceiling. And I think that comes into focus specifically with quarterback Cam Rising. Obviously, he was a very good fit for the offense last year after replacing Charlie Brewer, the transfer from Baylor, who nearly led the Bears to the college football playoff in 2019. So he obviously did a very good job. But is Cam Rising ready to be the stone cold crusher, a guy who can really make Utah a next level force? Now, Utah was very good last year, but the Utes did stumble in September before finding themselves in October and November and really getting on a roll. So now that Cam Rising is going to be the guy in week one, how does he handle the full 3-month journey from the very start of the season to the end? That's not something he had to deal with last year. He was able to see Charlie Brewer stumble. He was able to pounce on an opportunity. Where is Cam Rising's ceiling? So USC's floor, Cam Rising's ceiling. Those are the two very interesting plot points in the USC-Utah battle.
Matt, if either one of us could see the final individual and total offensive statistics for this football team in 2022, I think we could guess them pretty closely right now from player to player, talking about the substantial players, starting with Caleb Williams, but more so what the offensive output's going to be in total. But to your point, because they're going to explode at times, the consistency and against the better defenses, if that 40 points per game, again, to your point, is because of a lot of 63s and 59s and 56s against the Rices of the world, and they go out to Salt Lake City and it becomes a 27-20 loss because they can only put up 20 points, that's not going to get them to the ultimate goal, as opposed to, sure, you're going to hit Rice most likely, and some of those schools for 50 points, but save some in the tank and pick up the 35 needed against the better teams, and Utah being the game of the year as it stands right now.